Extra, extra, read all about it. We're talking press conference highlights right here for you. We have Cedric Johnson, Nick Broeker, and Otis Reese talk today post-practice, and what they talked about is actually quite interesting. We'll talk about that and let them speak right after this.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. And thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. Also, upvote the video itself and hit the bell for notifications of new videos when we put them up, which will be quite frequently, especially during football times. If you do that for us, it will be greatly appreciated. Also, rate and review us on iTunes. It doesn't matter what you say. Just give us a 5-star review. Today's press conference highlights is pretty great. We're going to get into it in just a second. But we talk about a position change. Otis Reese talking about chemistry, and Cedric Johnson talking about following Sam Williams. Pretty good interview stuff. And if you want to watch all those interviews in their fullness, their links down in the title, so just check on that. So before we get into that, I do want to let you know about Stat Hero. Anybody take Kentucky and now your brackets are busted? Yeah, mine's not looking great, but I still have some cash from Stat Hero's Pick'em. If you haven't checked out this new platform, you're really missing out. Stat Hero's NCAA single-game pick'ems pit star players against each other in an amazing hybrid between fantasy and sports gambling. Take back control from handicappers that always seem to have the upper hand. Start focusing on players you know best with a gameplay that doesn't rely on big spreads, long odds, or fucky props. Stat Hero gives you the advantage, resulting in their gamers winning 4 times more often. Why? Because Stat Hero eliminates the mystery about who or what you're playing against. In addition to their pick'em games, they also have dozens of lineups you can comb through and take on head-to-head. Sounds like a pretty good deal. So this is what you need to do. Sign up today for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon and use promo code LOCKEDON for 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/lockedon. Promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% match. stathero.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Terms and conditions apply. Also, it's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. It's in full swing. The Sweet 16, I believe, starts tonight. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, BetOnline.net is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. It's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today. Use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay. How about this? We will let you hear from the players right now, and then we'll come back and we will talk about it. Pretty good interview from the team.
Absolutely. But I don't even think it's pressure. Well, I believe it's pressure from my coach. Like, of course, he's going to put pressure on me. Like, I got to be the guy next year. But I feel like I'm putting more pressure on myself than anybody else will, just to fulfill my expectations, really.
Yeah, it's gone really well so far. I really enjoyed it, playing something new and something I felt really comfortable at so far. So I'm pretty excited about the move so far.
It's been great. This is our second day of practice. New guys, a whole lot of new faces. We just trying to get the installs down, get the plays down, and we just trying to build and work with each other. A lot of new guys in, a lot of new positions. We just excited for the journey.
I think so. I think everybody just got a better energy about each other. Just everybody's just ready to buy in, just with a different. Like, we're comfortable. It's not like a whole new defense coordinator coming in. Like, we already knew CP, so him just taking over is just like everybody's energy is just even better. Not having to change up the whole scheme. We're just making new tweaks, making new things happen.
When I was thinking about entering the draft or staying last year, a lot of my feedback was at the next level, a lot of talk about guard and everything. So I think that's kind of what made me decide to do the switch.
All around, man. Like, new coaches, a lot of new players, a lot of like new good players. So they're gonna come in and contribute and help right away. So just all around the board. So we just trying to attack everything. And we don't got much time. You know what I'm saying? The season be here before you know it. So we trying to build our chemistry with one another, the staff and the players.
Oh, just his consistency. Like, the way he changed, like, obviously from when he had his kid, he made, like, a huge turnaround. Just, like, as a person, as a player, he just came in consistent, trying to be the best player he can be. So I'm just looked at that, and I'm gonna mirror it the best way I can.
Honestly, it's been pretty smooth. You know, I think one thing that has been nice for us is, you know, we've all playing a different spot this year, but we've all played together before. You know, I've always had Caleb next to me. I've played with Jeremy a ton. Eli is obviously still playing the same spot. So I think that's something that's really helped us, you know, and just kind of the friendships and stuff off the field, watching extra film with each other, definitely, you know, made a really smooth transition for us all.
Something you got to work on, like, I feel like it's the vibe you get in when you step in the facility. Like, the energy from the player, like, we not like about we. So that plays a big role when it comes down to, like, winning games. Cause you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for your brothers out there, and also, like, your loved one back home. So the respect in the locker room, the respect among one another, it just play a big role. Cause, like, football is, like, a real deal, like team sport. So it play a big role.
All right, there you have it. Those are the guys talking about the interview and going through practice and doing all they can do. The most intriguing thing to me that we all knew about, we've been talking about it during the last couple of months, is the position change for Nick Broeker from who's played left tackle at Ole Miss his whole career here. He's moved into left guard. And I think Jeremy James is outside of him right now. Potentially one of the young guys could step in and do that as well. But it looks like Nick Broeker's on the inside, all in the name of improving his draft stock. And it was interesting to hear him talk about that. That was his feedback he got from the NFL. He kind of projects as a guard. And if you look at him, he has that kind of mean streak that he plays with. And that's, you know, it works out. He's a really good run blocker, and he plays with that little bit of mean streak. You talk about Cedric Johnson, and obviously he's looking at Sam Williams and trying to go after that sack record and everything going. Remember, Cedric Johnson's no slouch. I think Sam Williams had 13 or 14 sacks last year, but Cedric Johnson had 7. So he can get after the quarterback as well. And with other players coming in on the other side, and they talked about the wrinkles and stuff with the defense, I think the defense is really going to take off. They have a chance to be actually fairly good, which is absolutely hilarious because all of the experts last year just laughed at the fact that Ole Miss said the defense might be pretty good, and by the end of the year, they were really pretty good. It's just one of those things. You have to tune out the media. You have to tune out the narrative and take care of business. That's just the pure thing there. And also, you saw Otis Reese talking about chemistry as something that people build. Now, I don't know how I agree with that. Now, I was in the coaching office and roaming the Manning Center when the Arkansas Pillowgate happened. So chemistry on that team, obviously, that was just shot to hell. But I don't know exactly how much you can build it. I think some you can build it. I think effort has to go into doing it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a little bit of it is what it is. That ceiling is set no matter what you do. Now, you can work hard to reach that ceiling, but where that ceiling is not entirely up to you. But you obviously should maximize whatever you have, because whenever you are doing what you have to do chemistry-wise, you really take the next step and do the next thing. So that is the press conference highlights for today. Tomorrow morning, we will have Tom Vanderford, and we will talk about this spring practice number 2 and our Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Tomorrow night, a post-game pod will happen. And Saturday, we'll do an extra for practice and the PC highlights. So that is an attempt to just get the content to you. Now, we don't want to break news. We don't do anything like that. It's just us talking about it and doing it. So before we do, down in the comment section below, can you do me a favor and let me know what you think about Nick Broeker moving to guard. We'll talk about that on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast tomorrow morning as well. But if you can, just put in the comments below. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in, and hotty toddy.